I will ask William, the Secretary of the Council, to explain the procedure that we have in front of us. After that, I will open the agenda item number 5, take a decision on agenda item number 5, which is establishment of a new trust fund, Global Biodiversity Framework Fund. Then agenda item number 6, programming direction for the Global Biodiversity Framework Fund, even though we all understand that there has been an overarching package agreed. But in terms of the procedure, this is how we need to do it. William, over to you, please.
Okay, thank you very much. So I have just sent to everybody by email, so please check, the clean version of document GEF C64 5 Rev 01. It has in it highlighted, shall we say, the bits that are new and that you need to look at. The rest is the same as it was circulated this morning. We want to make sure that what is in there is exactly what everybody agrees to. So take a few minutes to look at it. It's highlighted in green. Paragraph 6, for example. Paragraph 8, the bullets in paragraph 18.
Paragraph 46.
And paragraph 46. The rest you've seen. Those are the new bits.
Yep.
So as long as you agree with those changes, then we can adopt the decision. Of course, you'll get a chance to comment if you wish, but I'm just talking about procedure. Then we will adopt the decision, which essentially has not changed. The only change in the decision is the number of the document, because the decision approves the content of the document, right? So perhaps I should stop there just on this paper. Yeah. The next one will be similar. As soon as the text has been approved by everybody and ready, I will circulate it to you all. You'll have a chance to look at it, comment, and then we can approve the decision. So I guess it's back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, William. With this, I'll pass it over to Chief so she can go over the necessary indication of this document. Chief, please.
Thank you so much. The document, the Rev document that William just circulated to you has 3 new elements that have been shared with us today. And those new elements have been highlighted in green. First, paragraph 6, it is a new paragraph. And this was discussed among council members and alternates earlier this afternoon. And there was an agreement to include a paragraph in this document, as well as a programming directions document, that what is in these documents do not prejudge any future negotiations for any other funds or for the GEF 9 replenishment. So it's a new paragraph, and let me read it. It reads as follows. The elements captured in this document will not prejudge any future negotiations for any other funds and for the GEF 9 replenishment. Now, next change that we have made is to old paragraph 17. Now it's paragraph 18 because we had to add a paragraph about not prejudging. And this is just a correction to what was distributed earlier. Under the first bullet of paragraph 18 or old paragraph 17, it was missing a fragment about the assuming the obligations of developed country parties. So that have been added, and minor editing done to make it clear that of developed country parties to the convention. So that has been added at the request of a number of council members to correct the factual matter that has been brought to our attention. The last change is in paragraph 46. And this is the paragraph on the auxiliary body that has been agreed and brought to us. There are two minor changes. One is that the previous version said the GBF Fund Council will establish. This has been revised to read as GBF Fund Council may establish. And this is consistent with paragraph above on the advisory group. And also this gives the GBF Fund Council to make the decision as well as flexibility. Another change highlighted in green is the old version read as for the purpose of providing recommendation to the GBF Fund Council. It has been amended to read as for the purpose of providing advice and recommendations. And this has been done to be consistent with paragraph 45, which also is stated as for the purpose of providing advice and recommendations. We have made no other substantive changes to the document from the version circulated earlier today from William. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cheese. Yes, I will open the floor for intervention of council members. Maher, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. Just one small modification. For the paragraph number 6, we have agreed on a certain text that was provided to the Secretariat. So probably you're going to reread it to everybody, or we trust you that you're going to replace the... Great. So, but for the sake of everybody to know what we have included in that, you may just read it. Thank you.
Thank you, Maher. So your question is whether the new paragraph is consistent with what is in the revised proposal, which reads as the elements captured in the establishment, programming, and resource allocations documents related to the GBFF will not prejudge any future negotiations for any other funds and or GEF 9 replenishment negotiations. Is that the version you're referring to?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so if this is the version you would like, we can replace what is in paragraph 6 with this particular version.
Rajendra, please.
Thank you, Chair, and my compliments to the Secretariat, all our council members, that we've reached a great deal of consensus. I would draw your attention to paragraph 46 and would request that the earlier version should be replaced. I think we had agreed, all of us had agreed on the word will, not the may. Because the rule is different. Advisory is if GBF Council feels it may take advice, it may not take. Wherein the purpose of auxiliary body is that it's being proposed to have. So I think we would go by word will rather than may. I'm okay with insertion of advice and after providing. Thank you.
I want to hear from council members if they are fine with what Rajendra just proposed, which is changing just a word, no?
Essentially, if we understood correctly, the change that Rajendra has just proposed is in paragraph 46, where it says the GBF Council may establish, it will establish. Yes, Kat?
Just a question. Didn't we add to that paragraph advice and recommendations to make those
that's
two
done.
paragraphs consistent? So maybe it's better to have the same language?
The advice and recommendations is already there.
I know, but it says may in 45, and it makes sense to then also have may in 46, or?
Well, does anyone want to take the floor on that? Laura?
Thank you, William. I want to support the India's proposal because we was agree on to include here will instead of may. And we are okay with the inclusion of the advice. So advice and recommendations is okay. That's what we was talking about. But the may needs to be changed for will. Thank you.
Yeah, I think what Karen was just saying is that 45, you wanted to change may to will. Is that correct? No, you didn't. Okay, fine. All right, then, Stéphane.
Oui, merci. Toujours sur ce même point, moi je suis prêt à soutenir le changement, enfin je suis prêt à ne pas m'opposer à ce changement, mais j'aimerais avoir l'avis du secrétariat, puisque est-ce qu'il est possible de mettre will established, sachant que c'est une décision sujette à une réunion ultérieure du Conseil. Donc est-ce que d'un point de vue légal, will established vole?
Okay, so I just consulted our legal counsel, and it is her understanding that putting the word will there is perfectly correct. Okay, so I think we've all agreed on the amendments, right, as described, so the REV paper will go. So now the chair will propose to you that the decision is adopted, is to be adopted. Yeah.
So, having exhausted the list of speakers, I would like to invite council to adopt decision GEF/C64/05. Rep 1. Thank you so much. Now, let's go to agenda item number 6, programming directions for the Global Biodiversity Fund. We'll be putting some slides on the screen. I'll pass the floor over to Claude. Claude?
All right, so the revised chair's proposal is in front of you. We are proposing a 20% share to IPLCs. This remains an aspirational goal. We are proposing a 25% share to IFIs that are GEF agencies. This would be enforced or not aspirational. This target would be reviewed after 2 years from the date of the fund ratification at the Assembly. For SIDS and LDCs, we propose 36% plus 3%. The 3% would be reviewed after 3 years from the date of the fund ratification at the Assembly, and if unused, the 3% will be reprogrammed to other countries. And we are also proposing the insertion of the same paragraph that was inserted in the establishment document. The elements captured in the establishment programming and resource allocation documents related to the GBFF will not prejudge any future negotiations from any other funds and/or GEF 9 replenishment negotiations. Thank you.
Thank you, Claude. With this, I would like to open the floor to hear opinions from council members with regards to this revised version. Rajendra, please.
We support it.
Very good. So I don't see any council member asking for the floor. With this, I would like to invite council to adopt the decision contained in document GEF C64/06 revised. I don't see anyone asking for the floor, so we adopt decision. Y levantamos. Démosle las manos. Please. We will celebrate. Let me propose a special way to celebrate this historic decision. Please take the hands of everybody, and after me, 3 times, we say viva. 1, 2, 3, viva! 1, 2, 3, viva! 1, 2, 3, viva! Mr. David Cooper from the CBD has asked for the floor. David, you got the floor, please.
Well, thank you very much, Carlos Manuel, and really, the Secretariat of the CBD would like to congratulate all council members, alternates and constituency members, as well as observers for the work over the past months, and especially over these last days and these last hours to reach agreement on the establishment of this new Global Biodiversity Fund under the GEF. Thanks especially to the co-chairs and to the Secretariat and to all those who have supported this process. Your success here in Brasilia is really important for the future of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. Obviously, the decision here to establish the fund is important to facilitate the scaling up of funding for the implementation of the framework as requested in the COP decision. The new fund will complement the support provided through the existing GEF Trust Fund, and we were all, I think, very, very pleased to see the adoption a few days ago of the largest work program ever and the largest for biodiversity. The decision, though, to establish this fund is also important in that it sends a clear signal that we're all determined to succeed in the implementation of the new framework. We're very happy that the Council has responded in such a timely way to the request from the Conference of the Parties in Montreal. And we're also very pleased to hear earlier today from a number of donor countries that they intend to pledge contributions to the fund very soon. It's also a really important sign that the new fund will seek to mobilize funds from all sources and that special efforts will be made to engage the international financing institutions. We note that the special needs of all countries, including the biodiversity-rich countries that have a particularly big responsibility to protect biodiversity, as well as the LDCs and SIDS that have particular needs as well and particular vulnerabilities, and all the other countries, that you found a good balance to guide the allocation of resources. We especially welcome the recognition of the indivisible or irreplaceable role of Indigenous peoples and local communities as stewards of biodiversity, and the clear commitment to provide support to them, to support their actions according to their own priorities. Clearly, this reinforces the spirit we heard in Montreal and the clear recognition that we heard in Montreal of the important role of Indigenous peoples and local communities, the need to respect their rights, the need to give them the support that they need. We can now all look forward to the Assembly, as Tom said, in beautiful Vancouver in August, where we indeed hope to see the ratification of this fund by the Assembly and already contributions being pledged. And then we can look forward to this fund being fully operational as long as it passes this first 200 million threshold by the end of the year, and so that we can see projects before COP16. Once again, I'd just really like to express our thanks to you all for the important work done and for your commitment to the agreement that you all reached also in Montreal. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you, David, to your colleagues, and to all parties in the CBD for their support in the last 4 months that took us to this wonderful decision of today. Thank you so much. So with this, I go back to agenda item 15. Agenda item 15 is preparing the GEF to serve as part of the financial mechanism for the international legally binding instrument. Erin, please, sorry, you got the floor.
Thank you, Co-Chair. I would like to make a statement on behalf of the non-recipient council members. I'd like to thank all council members, alternates, advisors, members, and the GEF Secretariat and others for reaching this historic outcome. This decision comes after many discussions, document iterations, and compromises to reach a beneficial agreement. The GBFF contains the components needed to mobilize resources across all sources in a complementary way to GEF 8. We are pleased to have found a way forward to support those most in need, including LDCs and SIDS, and also support action by the Indigenous peoples and local communities. We are pleased with the decision this Council has taken to support implementation of COP15 decisions and the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. We know this fund will be important in supporting developing countries to implement the GBF targets, and we'd like to thank Brazil as host of this meeting and the GEF Secretariat for working to achieve this outcome. Finally, Canada is greatly looking forward to hosting everybody in Vancouver in August for the GEF Assembly, where the new fund will be ratified. We welcome this opportunity to continue working collaboratively to realize the mission of the KM-GBF of halting and reversing biodiversity loss by 2030. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Erin. Any other council member want to address the floor? Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. And first of all, I want to thank the entire council members. It is actually very touching for us to come to this level, looking into certain diverse issue, but at the end of the day, we are able to come with something that we can actually take back home and tell our people that at least we are able to come up with a decision. And as I earlier mentioned, the issue of addressing biodiversity issues should also look at a holistic approach, whereby every unique environment have something to show when it comes to addressing biodiversity. And with that spirit, that this entire council members were able to look into, to come to this conclusion and approve this marvelous decision to move forward in trying to address our biodiversity across the globe. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody on behalf of my constituency as an LDC and also my colleagues from the SIDS for this decision. And also want to thank the Secretariat for their patience, for their support to ensure that we reach at this level. Together, we can build a better planet for us and our future generation. Thank you very much.
Laura, please.
Gracias. Yo también quiero agradecer, por supuesto, en nombre, lo voy a hacer en español. Quiero agradecer en nombre de nuestra circunscripción, pero también de las circunscripciones de Latinoamérica, también de las circunscripciones de los países receptores y en general de todos los países en desarrollo. Nosotros agradecer también, por supuesto, a Brasil por ser nuestro anfitrión en esta importante reunión en la Secretaría, y creo que en nombre de todos los países en desarrollo hemos hecho un esfuerzo y un trabajo colectivo importante acá. Quiero entonces agradecer también a todos los países desarrollados y a todos los que han hecho posible que podamos hoy celebrar la creación del fondo. Creo que no voy a repetir porque ya nuestro colega lo ha dicho todo. Solo quiero de verdad, de corazón y en nombre de todos, agradecer por este trabajo que es 100% colectivo. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias a vos, Laura. So I will go back to agenda item 15. We still have agenda item 15, BB&J, and then the summary of the chairs with regards to LDCF, SCCF, and then the summary of the chairs with regards to the GEF council meeting. So agenda item 15 is preparing the GEF to serve as part of the financial mechanism of the international legally binding instrument under the United Convention on the Law of the Sea, on the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity of areas beyond national jurisdiction, BBNJ. The document has been shared with all of you, so I would like to see if there's any comments or questions from any of the council members with regards to the revised version that was shared.
Revised decision.
Okay, so there is no objection to the revised decision. So I will invite the council to adopt decision contained in document GEF/C64/12 Rev 02. Decision adopted. Thank you. Okay, now we go to the end of today's session with the two revised documents. I'll pass it over to Cheese, which will guide us with regards to the LDCF, SACF summary of the chairs. Yes. Thank you, Cheese.
Thank you so much, Carlos Manuel. There is a document that has been circulated, the joint summary of the co-chairs, in front of you, and we would like to go through this. The first item is opening of the meeting.
You don't need to read it. It's paragraph 1, but explain it as a mistake.
Yeah, paragraph 1 is there is a small mistake on the date of the adopted decision, so we will correct that in the version to be posted. Next one. The second element is the adoption of agenda. There are 2 paragraphs under the adoption of agenda. Okay, we're good? And then we move on to the decisions approved. The first item is the work program for the Least Developed Countries Fund and the Special Climate Change Fund.
Decision number 1.
Decision number 1, yes. Decision LDCF.SCCF1. That's the first decision. Okay. Okay. No comments. We will go to the second decision, decision LDCF.SCCF2/2023. This is the annual monitoring review. It just says, given the time constraint, council agreed to defer. Moving right along, decision LDCF.SCCF3, the progress report on the Least Developed Countries Fund and the Special Climate Change Fund. No questions. We will go to the next one, which is the decision on decision number 4, decision LDCF.SCCF4/2023, and this is the fiscal year 24 administrative budget for the LDCF and the special SCCF. No comments. All good. We will then go to decision LDCF.SCCF5/2023. This is a 4-year work program and budget for the GEF IEO under the LDCF and the SCCF. No objections? Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Cheese. Seems like there is no observations and comments to the summary of the chairs with regards to the LDCF, SACF. So the document is approved. Thank you. So William is right now. You already sent it? So everybody has in their inbox the summary of the chairs for the GEF 64th GEF Trust Fund.
Okay, I hope everybody has received the email. It takes us sometimes a little bit to go. But on the assumption that you have it, we will go through, as usual. It just came, okay. The joint summary of the co-chairs of the GEF Trust Fund. So, first paragraph, opening of the meeting. No comment, approved. Adoption of the agenda. Again, I see no comment. Report of the chairperson of the Scientific and Technical Advisory Panel. And now we go to the specific decisions. As you see, the numbering starts on 7 because we've already had decisions in the past, right? So, decision number 7 is the business plan and corporate budget. Paragraphs 5 to 12. I see nobody requesting the floor. Decision 8, work program of the GEF Trust Fund. Paragraphs 13 to 65. And it includes the usual footnotes that were mentioned during the meeting. Decision 9 is the establishment of a new trust fund, the Global Biodiversity Framework Fund. That's the one we've just done. Paragraphs 66 and 67. And decision 10, programming directions of the Global Biodiversity Framework Fund, paragraph 68. No comments. Decision 11, evaluation of the GEF approach and interventions in water security and management response, paragraph 69. Decision 12 is paragraph 70, strategic country cluster evaluation of the Lower Mekong River Basin ecosystem and management response. Decision 13, four-year work program and budget of the GEF Independent Evaluation Office, paragraph 71. Decision 14 is the one we just adopted on the BBNJ, paragraphs 72, 73 to 76. Decision 15 on visibility of the GEF, paragraph 77. Decision 16, assessing the strength of the GEF partnership coverage by GEF agencies, paragraph 78. Decision 17 is a report of the Selection and Review Committee. And that's the end of the decisions. So if there are no further comments, back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, William. No comments? Yes. Honshia, please.
Thank you. I think in the decision 8 regarding to work program, paragraph 13, I think normally, I raised the issues in regards to 2 projects. So normally you was, and we already sent the email to William. So I requested to include a footnote in paragraph 13 as usual. Thank you.
Those 2 projects are listed right after paragraph 59. So it says, with respect to the following 2 projects, the council requested the secretary to arrange for council members to receive draft final project documents, etc. And then it lists paragraph 60, the project 11-238, and paragraph 61, project 11-112. which are the two projects that China asked for a second review.
In the paragraph 59, right?
Yes, 59,
Okay.
yes, 59, 60, and 61.
Okay, thank you.
I don't see anybody else asking for the floor. So the summary of the chairs is approved. Thank you so much. With this, we officially close the 64th council meeting of the GEF. I want to thank everyone for all the hard work throughout this week. It's fabulous what we have achieved. I don't want to close this session without thanking our host, the government of Brazil, for hosting us in this, the first GEF council meeting outside Washington. To them, my heart feeling for this excellent council meeting. And I think that the bar is very, very high if any other country wants to host us into the future in a next council meeting. Muchas gracias a todos. Pasen buenas noches. Gracias.
Just a reminder, those who are going to the field visit tomorrow, assemble at 8:15 at the TV tower? No, here. Downstairs. So at the entrance of the conference center at 8:15, all those who are going to the visit, and you'll go together. And all those of you who wish, in particular the council members, who take a picture here in front of the screen with the CEO, co-chair, David, and so on.